Alright, baby, we're doing it live. We're not doing it live, actually, because I'm not allowed to. I would get banned. Let me just put on some lights. We're doing it live in the sense that it's live right now. The stream is live. We're gonna do some predicting. We're gonna do some commentating. Putting on another light. And boom. Gragas blue side ban. Kind of odd. Kind of odd. Especially because Mad Lions banned it on red against Fnatic over and over. And I think Mad Lions are very happy to play Olaf into Gragas. But maybe they don't, they just want to stay away from the matchup. Maybe that's the thought process. A lot of AD carry bans. Syndra, Aphelios, Senna now is out. A lot of Yuumi Prio. So a lot of Ezreal, Yuumi Prio. But the tricky thing with you allow the enemy team to pick the other part. And that's always the tricky thing when you want to pick Ezreal, Yuumi on blue. But you know, G2 is the type of team that could pull off something crazy with Yuumi. Kalista out. This definitely points either to Set first pick or okay, Yuumi first pick. Lock in. We don't waste any time. Okay, my hair is looking quite wild today. I'm gonna put myself right there. Actually, I'm gonna put myself on G2's side because I think G2 is gonna take this matchup. If you watch my other video, Set is open. Set should definitely be taken, and the question is if you take Ezreal away. The key thing when people take away Ezreal when you have Yuumi is if you play Vayne. And Caps Vayne? Caps played Vayne mid lane. Caps actually played Vayne mid lane. Because that's like the best lock-in, you know? Vayne Yuumi is good into Ezreal plus support. And that's the way you like make Yuumi useful, because she has the stealth, the mobility, it kind of covers the same bases as an Ezreal would. But G2, I don't know if they prepared for this, because this is new, you know. First pick Yuumi is new, enemy team looking in Ezreal. Surprising that they don't take Set. I don't understand why you wouldn't take Set. I think every time you look in Set here together with Ezreal, because that Set is just better on red and you can flex it, you can play it support, Kai's is very good at it, Lee Sin Dokin. Okay, now the Gragas ban is making more sense, because now you take away Lee, and the enemy team is in a position where, if you think of Shadow, he wants to play Olaf, Gragas, and Lee. And you kind of cut it in half with Gragas ban, and I'm sure Jankos has Rek'Sai prepared for Lee, and this is something that Shadow hasn't played too much. I like this adaptation, though. The last time we saw, a team lock in Azir, which was Fnatic, and G2 following that trend with Syndra out, enemy team was put in a position where LeBlanc was banned second wave, and now LeBlanc is in. And LeBlanc third pick was a no-brainer. Now the question is if G2 wants to ban Olaf or if they're just happy just to play into Olaf. But I look at G2's comp and G2's picks are very good into Olaf, so I wouldn't give a shit about it, honestly. I wouldn't give 10 shits about Olaf. If enemy team wants to pick Olaf, it's their problem. I think if anything, the question is if Shadow actually prepared Rek'Sai. So G2 seems to think that they prepared Rek'Sai, so they banned Rek'Sai. I know Shadow played one game, but maybe two, but he got severely stomped, and I don't know, Rek'Sai is kind of a champion that you need to master, or you need to have a feeling for, I feel. It's not that it's difficult, it's just that it's very different the way you have to play. You need to be using your tremor senses, you need to use E over walls, and you need to be very conservative with how you use your abilities. Misfortune ban. So Misfortune Yuumi is something we've seen, but then again, I think Misfortune of Caps is alright. I guess we saw it together with Tarek. I'm just curious about the Vayne. I don't know if Mad Lions forgot about the Vayne or if G2 prepare for the Vayne. It's what it comes down to. What is no Varus LEC? Okay. Nevertheless, we continue. Aatrox Renekton ban. Yeah, GP becomes stronger, but Set is also still open. I'm so surprised that Set has gone for so long unpicked. Set is still in the picture. So I think G2 no-brainer here is just Set, and then the question is, the AD carry, have they prepared something unique, or is Caps just gonna look in Vayne? Because Vayne is the pick into this. Very good into Olaf, very good into Leona, very good into Ezreal. I'm pretty sure everyone in solo queue has seen this happen. Yuumi gets picked, Ezreal gets taken, Vayne gets locked in, Vayne gets locked in. Yeah, Vayne spotting is on, We don't know how well Caps will do. That's the set. Okay. Gangplank? Gangplank, Gnar. I think solo AP, LeBlanc, especially when you have Leona, is good. Is good. If you pick another AP here, Mercury values is way too high. I think you need to pick AD champ. Also, when you have LeBlanc, it's much better to have AD top because you force enemy side laners to itemize in a very specific way. So right off the bat, I have a better feeling here for G2's options in draft. I think Olaf is kind of out of place. Leona and Ezreal can definitely win this matchup, but I think Vayne and Yumi are going to be difficult to pin down, especially with an Olaf jungle. I think the gank potential is limited. I think it comes down to 2v2 mid. I think Olaf and LeBlanc should be stronger in 2v2 mid, especially pre-Lee Sin level 6. But G2 have been so good at maneuvering themselves around mid lane. And then later on, GP ultimate is not that scary. Usually when you see like a Felio, Senna, or like these mobile AD carries, they hate the gangplank. But in this case, it's kind of whatever. It's kind of whatever. It's like G2 can definitely pick and choose their fights. And then later they just need to play on mechanics. Oh, where is Ender looking right now? This looks kind of hilarious. He doesn't know that he's on camera, I think. Okay, now he knows. Yeah, and put your lights on, bro. Okay, so interesting draft. I think Mad Lions need to find some action in the 2v2 mid and bottom side, and G2 need to kind of survive. Later down the line, I think Vayne can be sent on splits, and depending on Ozzy's summoner, he can also match on bottom, but I don't know how much of a threat they can build up with GP LeBlanc on bottom in order to stay away from a Nash force, because Azdir and Vayne are going to kill this Nash super fast, and Lee Sin can tank it super easily with Iron Will. So Nasher at 20 minutes definitely on the table for G2, so I think split push prio is not going to be a thing. I think Mad Lions definitely have options to snowball this game early game, and I think if you compare, if you would look at this draft, and this was the draft in the, of course, well, Jankos has 2 screens? That is fucked up. Just remove the second screen. I wouldn't want to have a second screen if I was playing, but Jankos, to each their own, fuck it. Let's let him have it there. Okay. Back to the draft discussion. If I looked at this draft, if I saw these drafts in the first series that we saw, then I would be like, wow, this is Mad Lions' favorite. This is a good read on the first series, a good read of what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. I would be quite satisfied. I would be very, very satisfied. All right. Okay. Let me just make sure that I fit here. Okay. Goodbye, Mad Lion. Sorry. Okay. But with how things have progressed, if Fnatic had drafted something like this into Mad Lions, I would have been very, very happy. It all comes down to how much G2 can do to damage Orome, but I think even an isolated 1v1 Wonder should be better off. I'm not a big believer in Orome. I think people have figured it out by now. I think it all comes down to mid 2v2 into bottom side. Perk is also very greedy with his summoner choice going TP, Humanoid going Ignite. It depends on how much Humanoid and Shadow can do in terms of causing damage to Azir and then pressure into bottom side. Because even though Vayne and Yumi are quite mobile in later team fights against the GP ult, it still matters in the grand scheme of things, of course, in a bottom fight. A GP ult can make you run, can make you fight in very specific spaces, and Mad Lions have a lot of early game options here. G2 need to get over that 10-minute hurdle and bleed as little as possible. If they are even at 10-minute mark, you can easily predict that this game is going to go in G2's favor. Holy moly, what is happening? Orome not trading in his creeps is a big mistake, and not activating Corrupting Potion. If he trades in his creeps there and goes Corrupting Potion and he stays melee, then it's easier to also dodge the dodge the freaking true damage of the W. But here, just Orome got smacked and forced to use a Corrupting Potion, and Wonder heals back with Doran Shield. Also surprising how late Orome was on the wave, because usually you want to be there earlier. And now Wonder definitely won his lane for now. He's going to make a crash before Cannon though, so that's a bit worse for him. Shadow afraid of an invade. Set over the Tribush with the wave bounced, and now Lee Sin is going for a full clear to match. Kaiser takes third shot, so it's not the best trade. I don't know if Caps has the right runes. Little Tempo doesn't seem right, but I could be wrong. I'm not gonna say that I am up to date on the best things about Vayne, but I think Hail of Blades seems unbelievably powerful, like unbelievably OP. I would go Hail of Blades. If this gank lands, it's such a big deal. It's such a big deal, and Karate should be dead here if Lee has a ward. He can match, and then he can Q over the flash, and this is huge. A double kill for the Vayne Yuumi. My goodness, this is GG. If you hear it here first, Humanoid is trying to get as much as possible out of this, but Perks is going to TP back, keep a potion as well, and Humanoid is going to most likely lose a bit here because Azir is going to TP back and push it in, but he has to base. He has no other option. He went to go for the kill there. I don't know what happened in the lane state of things, but Azir needs to TP, and Azir is not going to have like a significant lead out of his TP. Very good defense here from Wunder as well. Lee Sin goes on bottom gank and he loses nothing because of Set's position in top. Wunder playing out the lane phase beautifully and making the wave bounce in second. It shows that G2 had this planned all along. You know, they were going for that level 3 gank on bottom. They recognized that Mad Lions was in an awkward position, and you know, in a lot of games, G2 at level 2 in bottom have been problematic. But this is a fantastic start. This is a dream start, honestly. Shadow going for top, but honestly, Wunder is not in danger. He has no reason to trade at all here. Shadow is just going for a ward clear, and Shadow almost gained nothing out of the fact that Jankos ganked bottom. Jankos took bottom crab, and he's going to clear. The reason I say he gained nothing is because he didn't take anything from the enemy, and at the same time, Lee has a base now, and he's already on the map. So tempo-wise, you know, Lee is fine. Ooh, Jankos efficiency. Polish efficiency. The reason why these kills on bottom are so significant is because it gives G2 an avenue of where to play from. This is a partial danger here, right? Good block here from Mickey on the Ezreal Q to make sure that Caps takes as little damage as possible. Very, very good. Shadow showed here, so the information they gained from this trade is definitely worth it. Freeze gets broken at least, because they can't keep freezing, they'll take too much damage. Oh my, they're keeping freezing because Ezreal and Eleona are actually walking away. This is a blunder from Mad Lions. The longer they keep the freeze, the longer they are safe, right? And Vayne has no flash, and Yuumi has no flash. And Vayne is in a good position. There's no pink ward on try, and Jankos is spotted, so they can definitely look to contest further and make the wave bounce. But all of the little things, they matter in the long run. All the little freezes, the wave positions when you get to be safe is also super, super good. But it seems from how things are maneuvering themselves that Mad Lions got to bounce the wave, and now Vayne Yuumi push, because otherwise Shadow wouldn't be here. If Shadow was here, oh, okay, Shadow is coming in. Yeah, the wave is bouncing. Jankos is also matching. You can see Jankos' timing is very good, because even though the wave is slow pushing into Mad Lions, the timer is the next wave. The next wave is going to be key, because then it's going to be more at the center, and that is where Olaf can strike. Olaf could have potentially done Drake during all of this, because G2 would not go aggressively here, I think. This was previously it was a Drake timer. Now Vayne Yuumi are going to cross here. They're going to begin to cross the middle, and this is the timer where Lee Sin probably should have backed up Vayne Yuumi, because this is a wave that they need to get into the turret, and if Mad Lions get to freeze this, all of a sudden they can begin to build an advantage and so forth. I think Shadow wasted a lot of time. I think he could have definitely done a free Drake. Jankos is rushing into bottom now. He's just squeezed in a base before that the big clash is going to happen. But during all of this, Shadow had full control of the river because G2 was freezing the wave, and I think definitely they could have contested that dragon. Now you can see Lee Sin's timer here. He's on the bottom side, making sure that G2 can posture aggressively on this wave. Jankos is... and now Shadow is looking to contest. Here we have the big clash. Kaiser missing key ability though. This is the fire starter, the Leona Zenith Blade. And they are face checking, taking over the space. And honestly, I think mistake from Mad Lions not to squeeze in the dragon there, because Vayne and Yuumi cannot push fast. That's the weakness of it, right? It scales super, super well, but it can't push super heavily either. Shadow burned a lot of time into this, and you know, I like the optimization choices from Perks. It's just going for no magic mantle double Lawrence, because honestly he just needs to survive. Any survival here, he can just go even greedier, you know, for it. Agos can fish for a steal. Azir went into base, and this was the cue card for Mad Lions to just go and commit. Oh, 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 okay, okay, okay. Janko's getting that XP boost. All right. They kill him, though. They kill him. That, of course, matters. Oh, Wunder. Wunder looking good in this matchup. We're pushing towards him, and GP HP is not that great. Mercury bot on Azir. Just full matchup. Full matchup build. Go for another null magic mantle, I dare you. Mad Lions with the 8-minute swap. Very standard. Yuumi is not a champion that can roam on her own, so this is not so great for G2. You know, the Vayne Yuumi is not something that we see often, but they can't push waves for shit. They can't manage waves for shit besides freezing. When they begin to push and try to push, it is quite pathetic, and it takes a lot of time. GP ult on the bottom wave. Very nice play here from Mad Lions. They're going to gain all this lead that G2 has built is something that they will recover now with this Herald. Zed is walking into mid lane. No one is matching Ezreal Leona. Shadow is not showing. Awkward here for Zed because he can't really show on top wave, but Wunder loves to go and gamble and make the enemy show. It's a Wunder special. Azir pushed in the wave. Lee Sin looking for base. Gangplank showing on bottom, and they are trading back. Olaf not in position to put a Rift Herald. Maybe they're planning to use it on the mid lane, because that mid lane turret, bringing it down is going to be super important for your Ezreal and also for the enemy Azir, because he relies on that protection. So people think that, you know, 1v1 in isolation, I think this matchup is a skill matchup, Azir versus LeBlanc. But Azir needs to play in a very, very disgusting way in order to win. When I say disgusting, in a way that, you know, he needs to play as if it's a 1v1 tournament. Refel is used on top. Good timing. I was thinking about the mid turret, but good timing here from Shadow. 2 plates for the last Herald, and they're taking over top side. Vayne matching bottom. GP's items not looking too crazy in the matchup versus Set. I was talking about Azir LeBlanc matchup. Basically, the reason I say you have to play disgusting is because you need to E when LeBlanc W's, so you don't get hit by W damage, which means that you're going to E into Zimbabwe, right? So let's say, you know, you Q into her, you W, punch, Q, punch, and then she wants to W, Q, or Q, W, E, and trade and so forth, and you press E to dodge your W, you hard win the trade. But yeah, that play pattern is not really applicable at every point in the game. It's only possible if you're playing 1v1 tournament or your team is really dominating the map and the enemy jungler is very bad. So keep this in mind. You know, a lot of matchups are like that for LeBlanc. LeBlanc requires fake pressure. She requires pressure. She has the ability to force on you from a very wide distance. She has the ability to choose the fights that she takes. That's what makes LeBlanc so strong. And then if she snowballs, she scales like a motherfucker because she can one-shot people and poke with Lulu and Zeko, right? Same thing with Kiana. Kiana was very powerful because she had a very easy time choosing her battles, but the difference between Kiana and LeBlanc is that LeBlanc can go back. LeBlanc can go back, and Kiana cannot go back. She goes in, and then, you know, I get it. She can do some bougie magic, but it's not enough. Zed is kind of out of position. GP has a bit of prio. They're threatening dive onto Perks. They are fake pressuring here. They're pretending that Olaf and Leona are onto this. Perks is using some movement mechanics. Very nice. So yeah, the Perks was respecting obviously Leona and Olaf. Okay, they have clans. You have clans caps. This is very dangerous game because look at Ezreal's position and GP's position. They cannot do any more damage, and this is a very durable Vayne with the Yuumi. This Olaf is not going to be in any position to one-shot someone. Very durable Vayne because the E max on Yuumi, of course. Okay, 5-man bottom, 5-man bottom. Set has TP, set has TP. While we're looking for the set TP, we see a ward behind. When LeBlanc shows on mid lane, I think that's a Q sign for G2 to go. LeBlanc is showing on mid wave now. Oh, the moment she showed! The moment she showed! There we go. Key moment. Perks was moving through the vision. That's a killing spree for Caps. Caps on Vayne, guys. Honestly, ding, 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 ding. It's a rough game. It's a rough game for Mad Lions. If we look at the things that are going to come further, Ezreal is going to be stronger at around 2 items before Vayne reaches Ginzu. But of course, she has this Yuumi that is going to buy, so fun items for her. So look, the moment LeBlanc showed, the moment she showed her face, she was sniffing the creeps. Ooh, chamomile shampoo. And then boom, TP in the bottom. LeBlanc is out of position. She committed already into pushing the mid wave. And there we go. G2 snap back. G2 playing very patient. Very, very patient. I respect it. I like it. The G2 in the previous years against Mad Lions, they would stay under the turret, try to 3v5 outplay with the late set TP, but instead LeBlanc showed on mid wave, boom, they went. Very beautiful, very beautiful. Very nice. Also, Azri was moving through vision, and the ward placement was very, very good. Blade Ruin King now on Vayne, which means that she can just permaforce all-ins onto Ezreal. Ezreal don't want to be on side any longer against Vayne Yuumi. They need to walk into mid and lane against Azir that has no cleanse. That's the best move for them. Humanoid, when it reaches Lu and Zeko, maybe he can try something to deal with Vayne. But Vayne Yuumi are not that strong on mid wave. It's just in longer lanes they are better, where they can hard force on the GP. They can run him down. They can run down the Ezreal as well. In mid, it's a bit different because the turrets are alive, of course. Shadow is blue smiting, jogging away. Boom. Haymaker. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. I'm excited. So excited. Now, if you're excited, you tell me in the comments, man. You tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments how excited you are for the playoffs. And then we have NA playoffs as well. That's exciting too. And then boom. Orome. Doing a classic Orome. Caps, don't hit the creeps. Don't hit the creeps. Okay, healing. Cards is still as easy, so they're not committing. You need Blade Ruin King to kill an Ezreal. Like, you need to slow because you catch up. You need to Q Blade, and then you rush after. Okay. This looks like a Mikhail's rush for Yuumi. I think he's doing this for the sake of Azir, considering Caps' cleanse. So maybe some of the other options would be better, like Athene's and the other item. What's it called? Ardent Sensor is the item I was looking for. I don't know what Oroma is smoking here, man. Oh, this is some good Baba Ganoush Kush. This is no reason for him to walk up. He felt maybe safe because Ezreal was around, but Ezreal was just doing golems. He's chilling. You see here, still with items, Caps doesn't push the waves too slow. So Vayne, the reason she's poisonous in competitive is because she fucks up your tempo all the time. She's like, hey, I'm gonna push this wave. And then you look at the time and it takes fucking 3 minutes for her to kill 6 creeps. This is why a lot of pro teams stay away from Vayne, where people are like, yeah, this is perfect Vayne game. She can kill these tonks. In terms of tempo, you lose a lot of tempo because you have Vayne in the game. This time around, she got a double kill, 4-1, 4-0-1. She's going to be an absolute killer in the teamfights with Vayne, of course. But there are sacrifices you need to be ready to make. Humanoid dodging the wall, good W position. Mickey can't jump back because he got CC'd. He has the 5 seconds reduction. They found the right one. The chains come out. Okay. Caps. Ooh. This was very reckless. Set has no TP. This is a bit unnecessary. They're face shaking top space, and I think they needed to retake river there through mid lane. They needed to have like a 4-1 variant before they went into top side, because here, Azir was a bit cut off, and I think they kind of skipped step here because LeBlanc could hide in the bush. So we're talking about how G2 was off tempo. They were off tempo because they pushed the wave slow, and then enemy team got herald, and then you need to retake the tempo and sacrifice some top creeps in order to go for this. Because here, you see, Azir is cut off. We don't know LeBlanc position, we don't see Leona position, we don't see GP position. Set is pushing with no TP bottom. This was the perfect timer for G2 to walk 4-man into mid, contest that next mid wave, and then walk into topside and retake. Because someone has to show on bottom because Set is pushing. Instead, we had this situation where G2 skipped steps, went straight into top, weren't willing to sacrifice CS, playing on Perk's TP. But I think this was a miscalculation and a inaccuracy from G2. So good move from Mad Lions here, punishing what they can and using this Vayne pick a little bit against them. Vayne is beginning to reach breaking point, especially if she reaches Ginzo before the Trinity Force of Ezreal. It's going to be hard for Ezreal to keep up in this game. His job is going to be to stall because LeBlanc and Olaf need to do a lot of legwork here on side in order to impact this game. Ooh, that was a good yawn, honestly. Good yawn. People think yawning is associated with lack of sleep, but honestly, yawning. Oh, Yanko's going in. Already, Aftershock is proc. No W on Leona. She's not a tanky. Caps doesn't get stunned by the solar flare. Oh, we have a Russian. Azir is pushing in. Olaf is already dead. Yeah, Mad Lions need to play on time. Their team fight is not as explosive as they want it to be at this point in time. They need to several rotations of Ezreal spells and LeBlanc spells in order to do something. But the second problem is also they need some source of grievous wounds because this Yuumi is just sustaining too much at this point in time. They caught the Leona. Take a look at the positioning again. Mad Lions, they walk in here. Shadow gets punched. Kazi is not missing. He missed the Q. Solarflare doesn't land. Caps. Shadow Humanoid tries to get in here. But Perks is doing a lot of fucking work, man. Look at the amount of work he's doing. Yuumi and Azir is just zoning off. And I think in the end, looking back at the replay, I feel like G2 just had the superior positioning that G2 couldn't really enter to. I still think they should play Vayne on side. Like Vayne is definitely strong here on side. She might lose against LeBlanc if she face checks LeBlanc without the Yuumi, meaning Yuumi goes mid with Azir. But I think for now, just send Set into bottom. Make sure he doesn't die, and then you can play 1-3-1 and you can control Nash space. Mad Lions need to look to hope to kill someone on side, but it's so difficult when the enemy has so much Nash pressure, and the only thing you need to be careful about is the LeBlanc. Ezreal 2 items, still quite strong. This is probably the closest he will ever be in terms of, matching the strength of Vayne. Everything is just... Not that he's equally strong to Vayne right now. It's more about that is gonna get even worse from here. Gonna get a lot worse. Something that hasn't been mentioned as well is G2's control of dragons has been quite decent considering their composition. We mentioned how Vayne is, so bad at keeping tempo and so forth because of how so she pushes, but they had the first steal and then the 2 Drake secures, and they're going to get that big team fight at the Drake. Azir is sitting on a lot of cash. I'm curious as to what he's going to buy. Is it just a... Yeah, I wanted to predict that, but in my head it was called Leandri's Torment, and yeah, he can't afford Leandri's Torment just yet. I think this is the correct build. I think Luden's Echo is quite trash. I'm on that hype train too. I think especially when you get some, like if you're lucky enough to have Presence of Mind stacks, it's even it's so much better. But you just compensate with double Lawrence Ring, and this is how you figure it out as you play Azir. Just think you need to abuse double Lawrence Ring, and then eventually, unless it's an LCK game, you're going to have Presence of Mind stacks, and that's gonna cover your mana issues. Because Nashor's Tooth is just too good to skip. And like this, you transition yourself into Liandry, you have a slow built into your kit. Liandry also works super well with the kit because you want to fight longer, you're not that bursty as other champions. And then you have 2 items to transition yourself into Deathcap or Void, and either way it's okay. This would be a third Void Cap game. I mean Deathcap, what the fuck is a Void Cap? So I was talking about the fact about yawning. Yawning, people associated with lack of sleep, but it's a lack of oxygen. Problem is when you're tired, you begin to breathe slower, and that's why you begin to yawn when you're tired. So if you do active breathing when you're tired, it becomes easier to deal with it. I've noticed. Meaning active breathing, meaning you take it upon yourself to really, breathe in. G2 have massive control. Like LeBlanc is showing on bottom. I just realized I don't know what the fuck he's doing there. I don't know what kind of good kush he's smoking, but they better pray that Shadow has his steel button on point. Jankos is dying to the Nash. That is troll, but no problem. Alliance is getting aced. Drake is spawning in 30. Humanoid gets his R cancelled there, which is pretty goddamn juicy if you think about it, man. He had his R cancelled in this moment. So yeah, G2, that double kill on bottom was huge. The patience they showed, the TP from Seton to bottom, triple kill on Vayne, gave Mad Lions very little opportunities to pressure into bottom. That double kill honestly cemented the position G2 was in, and they didn't manage to find any action onto mid lane. LeBlanc had that one opportunity to go into bottom, but Azir capitalized on LeBlanc showing on mid wave. Let's have a repeat of that. Humanoid is showing on bot wave, okay? So that's a problem. Jankos is almost dying. If that Q landed from Kazi, it would have been sick. And then Jankos flashes over the wall, but so does Shadow. So flash for flash, I think that's always worth it, especially coming into the next scenario where of course, the only way for Shadow to maintain anything in this game is to steal. There's the E. Humanoid runs back. Mad Lions have a better position. Oh, Jankos is too low to look to steal. Maybe he can try. The Drake is not falling down. Jankos is queuing. He queued. And there's the smite into E, 13 HP. And the team fight is just too easy. It's just too easy. Yuumi. Like at this point in time, I think Yuumi, Vayne, and... Vayne and Azir are dead. How do we get here? Nevertheless, I want to say that Azir, Vayne, Yuumi can 3v5 at this point in time. Cleanse, QSS is finished on caps. It's too many tools to get out of trouble. He has Mikels as well. Like CC just doesn't exist. It just sucks to be Leona this game. Sucks to be Leona this game. That's why, Nautilus is so much more interesting to me than Leona, because you can't really itemize into Nautilus. You get knocked up, you get pulled around, you get tossed like a kebab on a fucking dusty Saturday night, 3 a.m., drunk. Some guy puked outside your parlor and then came in and he's hungry. That's the vibe I'm getting. And here we go, a repeat. Wonder going full tank, huge haymaker, but he manages to die eventually. The flip. Shadow 1 HP. Still, Mad Lions finding kills there is a good thing. Because, yeah, it's the best thing they can hope for. Cool, Cloud Drake secure from Jankos. This Cloud Drake is huge for Vayne. You are Speedy Gonzalez on the finest cocaine. You just run it down. No Magi from Yuumi. He's putting some respect on the game. Okay. So it's also, I think just the Leona choice was awkward. Leona choice was awkward. I respect the Ezreal choice. The Ezreal choice, I think Ezreal set is what you go for. You have set flex, you can set it at the bottom. The fact that Sec went through with all of these top lane bans, like Aatrox was gone, Renekton was gone, maybe G2's gonna int it. Let's not rush to any conclusions. We've been here before. Grievous Wounds is activated. Ezreal has it. Humanoid is on bottom. Okay. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. I think Perks is inting. I think here Mad Lions could have definitely committed. Okay, Orome inting as well. Why not? Classic Orome. Isolated death machine. Oh, they're going, they're going, they're going. Oh, he autoed the creep. He autoed the creep. It was very important auto. Ooh. That was the difference maker, honestly. And Mikhail's wasn't used by Mickey. He doesn't auto that creep. The reason it's so important is because you lose your silver bullet stacks. And he had the empowered auto from Ginzu on the next creep. So he would have killed Olaf way, way faster. So he misclicked the creep. And that could have been a beautiful moment for Caps. But instead ended up being whack. Definitely, I think they could have won that. Should have probably, like, Mikhail just came off cooldown, I believe. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Those are my favorite comments where someone's like, actually, Yamato, Mikhail's was on 0.5 sec cooldown, so. Favorite comments. We're approaching 35,000 subscribers, which is very exciting on the YouTube channel. It's been a wild journey these past months. Going to see how things progress. It's been quite exciting, honestly. So, we were speaking about the draft before we had the big fight, and I wanted to bring up, the Leona lock-in. Leona lock-in might be fine as Yumi, but it felt very out of place. I think set lock-in was the way. I appreciate the LeBlanc third, but the problem is, where does your jungler land in all of this? The third pick Azir is so strong. It's almost borderline that you need to pick it away, but on 2-3 enemy can go Lee Sin and LeBlanc, which is a decent rotation. Just Yumi, Lee Sin, Azir first three was a beautiful thing. But you can't get away with it again, right? You can't get away with it again because the enemy is going to ban Vayne the next time. Vayne is just such a key pick here, I think. Oh, Vayne. Vayne bringing the pain. Vayne bringing the pain. Vayne bringing the pain. Oh. I'm so sad. A little secret, guys. I put 20 euro on the fact that I think Caps is going to get a pentakill. I would have had 500 euro. Oh well, fantastic game. I hope you guys learned something about the concepts we spoke about, the weaknesses of Vayne and Mad Lions. Honestly, it's tricky because you can't get away with doing this again. Vayne should have been banned second wave, and then the pick would have been wonkier. Vayne was just ideal here. Like, this was the time to pick Vayne. It was easy to see. These are the trends I've been seeing in Diamond 2 solo queue in the US. So honestly, it was juicy. But it all came down to the, level 3 gank. That level 3 gank really, really set the tone of the game. And early game matters. Olaf was inefficient. And then in that big wave that was stacking on bottom, G2 didn't get punished on it. Lee Sin was on time. And then when Mad Lions finally started the Infernal, which was very, very late, it got stolen away for a kill, which is fine. And then they had better tempo for the Rift Herald. But G2 seemed very aware of what they're sacrificing. And I think when you're playing the comp that they were playing, you need to be happy with sacrifice. And in the end, they turned out to be victorious. They took a very Fnatic approach to this. They weren't as clean as Fnatic, but Fnatic game 1 felt like this as well, in the terms of how the draft looked like, and they took a lot of ideas from there. The question is if we're going to move in a direction where Azir Prio becomes higher. So we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you very much for watching. Bless you and bless your face, and subscribe. Please subscribe. I need to feed my family. Thank you. Awkward little moment before I press the record off button.